Code and Corners, Code and Corners, Code and Corners.
Hello and welcome to Code and Corners, creating our motorcycle app, episode 5. It works on my laptop. We're actually recording this in one take because I deleted all of my videos and footage. I'm just here to try recording in one take, so we'll see how it goes. So we're on episode 5. We've got 9 episodes in the series. Our end goal is to use Bluetooth with our app. Here's what our end goal looks like. So you can see top left is me on my motorcycle, or you with your finger on a physical button on your handlebar, pointing to your phone, causing your app to trigger a notification to a second phone and making someone very happy. Today's goal, we're going to create all the files necessary for your first iteration, and we're actually going to run it locally on your laptop. So the files required, I posted this in episode 2, I think, and explained it. These are the only files that we're going to need. The icon.png is mine. I'd recommend creating your own. A picture doesn't have to be the PNG extension, but it will make it easier for the series. I'm going to copy it from a previous project that I created. Let's move on. Right, so creating the files. We're going to go to Visual Studio Code. So it's going to look like this when you open it. I'd recommend opening a folder like this when my laptop speeds up. I'm going to put it in a location that I normally put my projects in here. And I'm going to create a new folder. I'd recommend you do this too. I'm going to call it Test 3 because of this demo. I'm going to click on it and open. Right, when it loads, we should be able to create a new folder called Docs. Very important when my laptop catches up. We are going to create all the files necessary and copy that icon.png in. So it's sw.js and index.html and what was the third one? Manifest.json. I think I might have just overwritten that. Oh dear. Okay, and then copy in that PNG file. Let's copy it from another project, one I prepared earlier. All right, we've got it all in. Does it load? Don't know. They're all empty files. So let's go to the first iteration features. So we'll go back to my browser and we'll go back to, you've seen this before. So this is the first iteration repository within GitHub. It's within my GitHub account. You can see it matches to a very similar structure. I've got some extra files which we'll talk about in the next episode, but I want you to focus on the docs. And when it navigates into it, you can see that I've got the same files here. And what you can do is, this is just like a folder structure on your laptop. You don't really care about the icon.png, but you can click into each file and click raw. This is just so it's more copyable. And we're simply going to copy that out and paste it into your local machine. So I'm just going to click back, go to the next file. What was it? Manifest, raw, manifest, and then service worker. If you're unsure what these mean initially, go back to episode 2. Oh, let's finally go to service worker. I might have to edit one of these files because of my local testing, but that's unrelated to your environment. So what I'm going to do is put this to just a different number here. I'll explain that later. Right, so we've got the layout file. I won't go into the ins and outs of every single line, but this is the structure of a standard HTML file. You've got some fluff at the top. You can see that we're linking in our manifest file, telling the browser to make our website a PWA app. You've got a custom title that you can edit and employ you to edit, and some more content that I employ you to edit. We've got a field that's controlled by JavaScript. So this is the first bit of JavaScript in our index file. This is code that's run in the browser, not anywhere else. So we load it into the browser, it runs in the browser. And this particular bit of code is, so this is just an empty element, an empty bit of HTML. This is calculating the time of now. So when you loaded the web page, what is the time? And then displaying it to the user after the word start of ride, and then putting it in there. So that's what that code's doing. So it's getting now creating a long piece of text and then putting it in that value. So you'll see that it appears below this text here when we load up the page. The second bit is loading up the service worker. So telling the browser, hey, this is how you're going to cache files offline. So if we go to service worker here, this is the instructions to the browser. Just to let you know, browser, these are the files that you need to cache. Some other boilerplate code that I won't explain, a cache key that you may have to change from time to time depending on what changes you're making, which I'll explain in a further episode. And then the manifest file. Again, feel free to Google this and ChatGPT, pasting it in. But you've got information on the app itself, so what's displayed on the phone. You'll find that when we go to episode 6, some of this is quite important. That'll be the app title. This is where your icon.png comes into play. And that will be the app icon itself. Moving on. So we have, I've also said you can also clone my whole repo, which you've done before. If you wanted to, that would clone that whole repo, and there's a link there. So running our website. So we've done it once before, nothing like a live demo. So how you will run this in the most efficient way is you will right click on Docs and you will click Open in Integrated Terminal. This is just the easiest way for you to get to this folder structure. When it loads, again, my laptop is quite slow. When it loads, we should be able to run the command that you were running before, npx http server. Shouldn't have to save the files. And I will copy this value here. And this is our website root. And we will paste it in here. Hopefully it should just run. There we go. That is the wrong website, nothing like a live demo. All right, so maybe in editing you'll have seen this, maybe not, but I paused the video. We saved some of the files and it finally loaded up this website. Again, just a repercussion of testing other websites locally with the same caching mechanism. But here you have it. You have your website running locally with some whatever content you've changed. You've got that JavaScript code running locally. So, in summary, you've created all the files necessary for the first iteration of your mobile app, but you've only run it on your laptop. And in the next episode, we will be pushing this up to GitHub. We'll be using GitHub's out-of-the-box functionality to publish your app, and we'll actually be installing and viewing the app on your phone. Thank you for listening, and on to the next.